Hi there, welcome to Unscripted with me, Grace Msalame. It's always a pleasure having you here with us. Of course, our lovely location is Takeout on Manyani Road here in Lavington. Now, our guest today will remind us of the saying that goes, God's timing is best. No truer words were spoken. Let the show begin as we meet her. Hi, welcome to Unscripted. With me here is our guest today, Ruth. Karibu, welcome to the show.
Asante sana.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me for the show.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it.
Maybe you can tell people at home who you are. I know I've said Ruth, but you can introduce yourself again and tell them why you're here today.
My name is Ruth Oseber. I am a teacher by profession, a special needs teacher to be more precise. I am a mother of 4. I'm a wife.
Okay.
I think I'm here to inspire a woman who is somewhere seated, and maybe through my story, she will be encouraged.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your journey to motherhood. Tell us about it. How long did you wait and how was that period?
I got married in 2012.
Okay.
And we didn't plan for babies like they'll come immediately.
Yes.
So when you get married, you know, when you are still fresh in marriage, you don't have that plan. You want to enjoy each other. You want to have like the feel of the other person before you even get a third party coming in. So we didn't give it a lot of attention. Okay. But I conceived in October 2013, and unfortunately, it didn't go to term. I miscarried at 2 months.
Sorry.
We were like a shock on us because, you know, you are still young, you don't understand these things. But we took it positively. Like for anything that happens, there's a what? There's a reason. Because even the doctor said maybe the mimba could have not been okay. So it just, the body refused it. So it came out because I didn't have any sign of being sick, pressure or anything which could have triggered it. Yeah. So after that is when we came back and said, okay, fine, God will give us another one. Okay. And we just sat. We sat in the sense that we thought another pregnancy will just come. Yeah. So 2014 comes, 2015, like 3.5 years.
I see.
Waiting, and then we ask each other, is it okay? We wait? Okay, let's wait. God will do it.
Okay. So you remained patient even in those
we were
about
patient.
3 years. Really?
We were encouraging each other. But now when it was 3.5 years, and then I don't want to say that there was pressure from where I was married, or the people from that side wanted a child. But you know, there are these small talks, the shushu which comes at the workplace, in church, and maybe these people did not understand that maybe you had gone through something which could have interfered maybe with your system in one way or another.
Yeah.
So we decided to go and seek medication. So you were referred to a gynecologist.
Okay. But how did you cope with, like you said, you would hear whispers here and there, whether at church or at work. How did you cope with the whispers or the talk? One
thing we agreed, we are not going to listen to the other people.
Good.
Because we could just sit and ask ourselves, if the baby has not come and we are 2-3 years down the line, what else can you do? You know, we could say pregnancy is something which people have to see. So you can't go and carry a blanket and put on your stomach and say you are pregnant. It has to be seen. So whether they talk and it's not there, there's nothing we can do. So we kept praying. We kept praying and we told God, your time is the best. And when the right time comes, you'll do it for us. Now when we went to the doctor, we went because we knew there was nothing wrong with us. Okay. You see, that time when you believe, I've not done, I don't think there's something wrong. Yeah. Everything, my system works normally. Yeah. I've conceived. Yeah. So, is there something wrong? So you are going with the mentality that I'm very okay. But let me just hear what the doctor has to say. So once we are there, the doctor said, now the first thing, you have to bring your husband and you have to do
some tests.
I can't deal with you alone. And then I expect a result. You have to come, both of you. So I went and told him, he came. And I thank him for that because most men don't agree.
That's true.
And when we went to the doctor, he said we are going to do thorough hormonal profiling on my side. Okay. Tubes, check whether they are blocked. And he was going to do semen analysis. And now from there we did, and the whole test was coming to around 40,000. There was another hormone he told me to check, anti-Mulan, the one which looks at the number of eggs, which was very expensive. And then we said, now, do we have this money now? Must we do it? Like, you know, there's something you ask, must we do this? Yeah, like, do we need this baby like today? But you go and sit and say, anyway, because the doctor said, and we also want to become parents, let's just see, there could be something wrong. So we agreed, we gave ourselves a timeline, and we said by this time, maybe from our salary, we'll go and do the tests, because no insurance covers that. After that, the tests came out. And now, because we don't understand them, you see the numbers, low, high, what.
The doctor needs to explain that.
Yes, to explain.
Of course.
So they were taken to the doctor. Now, luckily, my husband was very okay. Everything of his was perfect. Perfect, like the doctor said. Unfortunately, my side,
what happened?
Things were haywire. The hormones were up, down, everywhere.
I see.
Now, there was one which he had to specify and say this one is the one which has hindered the conception process. Prolactin, the one for milk. I was at the higher end.
You're producing too much of it?
Too much.
Oh, I see.
So the body was behaving like I'm pregnant throughout.
Oh, really?
Could be from the miscarriage I had. There was something which happened. And the hormone, yeah. So the body behaved like I'm pregnant throughout.
All the time?
So there's nothing which can take place. Wow. Because your periods are okay, everything is okay, nothing. Ultrasounds were showing everything is right. So the prolactin was too high, and he said, now, that's where we start. We have to lower
Bring it down.
And he gave me medication, which were very expensive. One tablet, it was a capsule, was going for 600. Okay. And you were supposed to take them until the hormone normalizes.
I see. And that period takes a while?
It depends on how my body is responding. You know, when you take a medicine, you can say, take it today, you respond tomorrow. Another one, 1 month, another one. True. So I took it for almost 1 month.
Okay.
And during the process, he gave me some medications, the ones which ovulation things like that. Because he said, now, we have to work on this thing. Okay. You know, the way gynecologists also know when you go there, this mother is in need of a what? For a child.
Baby.
Yeah, because you can't go there just like that.
Yeah.
If you go with the reproductive issues, definitely it must be you want a baby. Yeah. So he said, okay, let's see how to treat you so that we can see. It was very expensive, Grace.
Yeah.
It was like, I wish there is a way we can handle that issue of treating such things, because
you said insurance doesn't cover
insurance
that.
doesn't. It doesn't.
That needs to be looked into, huh?
Yeah. And then now you are still young. You're trying to find your life.
Yeah.
Now this one comes in. You have to sort it out. It took a toll on us financially, but I thank God for my husband. He was really trying.
So now, can you imagine?
Those people will say, "Mimi sina shida, shida
ni wewe."
Wewe.
But so he was supportive.
He was very supportive. He didn't take it in another angle. He just said, "We'll look for money, we'll treat it, and then see that the whole thing works out." So after that, I think we had to keep on the treatment. You see, the problem with treatment. You become very anxious. You see, you're receiving treatment, but at the same time, you're checking on, has it worked? So from both sides, you're like, is it working, or we are just using money?
So when did things change?
So we went up to July 2017, I remember.
So about a year?
Yeah, it took like a year.
Okay.
From the time we saw the doctor.
Yeah.
So July 2017, and then you're like, okay. What has happened?
Yeah.
And then you're like, let me just be convinced that it's a pregnancy.
Okay.
You see, when you are looking for that, you also want to check Google, Mr. Google, always on the internet.
Dr. Google,
and then it tells you false pregnancy. So you're like, could it be that it's a false?
Why? What was happening?
See, you feel like there's something, and then all of a sudden you missed your periods. And then you're like, could it be like they have just extended because of the, you see, you start Googling missed periods, and then they give you environmental changes.
All the possible options.
Yeah, so we were like, okay, maybe it could be there's something, but I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
False pregnancy comes in,
Yeah.
and then you're like, which false pregnancy is this? Then you're like, okay, fine, let's go to the doctor. And it has to be a blood test. I don't want the strip one.
You wanted
Yes,
assurance.
yeah, assurance, because I was like,
You can't go through that again.
yes.
I understand.
So we did that. Fortunately, it was.
Good.
And then we received the news with mixed emotions, because
Why?
you had received, you had had a
baby.
miscarriage before.
So you also
So you're like-
nervous.
Anything can happen.
I see.
And then the doctor says your HCG is too high, the hormone for
Really?
pregnancy.
Yeah.
It was an indication, it was
Too high.
too high. But he told me the pregnancy is there. You're
Okay.
pregnant. So you can wait for some time, and then we do a scan
A scan.
to see the heartbeats and what have you. The scan we did, and then, you know, you are like, I don't know how to put it. Let me put it like, you are just there, like, let them just do it. But you have some...
You're still nervous?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we do the scan, and then it was a nurse who was doing it, and then she tells me, why am I seeing like there's more than one heartbeat? And then I tell her, you know, like, I'm not aware of anything, I'm just do the scan.
Yeah.
Then I ask her, what do you mean? Then she tells me, I can see like there's more than one heartbeat, so it could be, but anyway, let me do it, and then I'll tell you what I see. So me, I have not done it before, because the first one did not allow me to reach that stage.
Okay.
So I was looking at that thing and seeing
It was the first time.
some things.
You had to explain what you're seeing.
Yeah, so she tells me, you see that one? There's a heartbeat, okay? It's running. Then, then she said, could be one. I said, 3. I
So
said,
how many
3.
heartbeats? 3 heartbeats.
Yeah. And then I'm like, are you sure you're seeing 3? And then she tells me, I'm telling you what I have seen.
So in that, was your husband there with you?
No, he left and then went to work.
How was that moment for you?
For me, it was a bit like, you see, still mixed emotions.
Really? Were you
Because
excited? Were you
I was
surprised?
I was surprised in
Yeah.
the first place, and at the same time I was like, you're tongue-tied, like you are, is it me?
3
You are,
babies?
who is getting the information, or is somebody else?
Ah,
And then I'm like, okay, just give me the results, I go. She packs. I was not like, I didn't want to stay there asking so many questions.
wow.
I just took those results back to my doctor.
Okay, let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Before the break, Ruth was just sharing her story with us, your journey to motherhood, waiting for 6 years, unfortunately having a miscarriage, and then you're blessed with 3 babies, triplets. But you decided you need to go talk to your doctor about this. What did he tell you when you saw him?
The first thing the doctor told me, this is a normal human being is meant to carry one baby. Carrying 2 is a blessing, yes, but it's a risk. Now you carrying 3
too. Yeah, you carried 3.
has a higher,
A high risk. High risk pregnancy.
So that news also, I got it with
It made you nervous.
yes. Now I became a friend of Mr. Google from that time.
You kept checking everything you're feeling.
Everything, including
Oh,
nothing.
I wish your doctor told you not to. Dr.
Even if he
Google,
tells you your conscience cannot allow, as long as you have that phone and you have access to the Google,
then you feel something, you check.
you check. So he tells me that is a risky pregnancy, very risky. One thing, be sure it will not go to full term, owing to the fact that you are not big-bodied. Number 2, we have to see the progress, because they'll be fighting for space, looking for their chances of survival, everybody.
Yeah.
In the process, somebody's arm or leg or something could be, and then you find the child has come out with a physical disability.
I see.
Sometimes they have sharing of placentas, which happened to me. 2 of them were sharing.
Oh, I see.
So I had 2 placentas.
Wow.
And
I had 2 as well.
yeah. So if they share the placenta,
Yeah.
then it means maybe there could be something strangling or what have you. So coming out,
Anything
if
can
labor
happen.
happens when not everything is ready, then something can happen. So it was 3 risks. You'll get these kids early. Number 2, they might come out maybe, I'm not saying they will, but most of them maybe because of fighting of space, they might have some physical deformities. And then thirdly, maybe they're coming out. We are not sure whether they'll come out, all of them, like if they're sharing a placenta because of the strangling, and maybe one or two could happen. And then you find.
So how did you handle all this information? Information that is meant to be
good enough. With my husband. With him, he's, I can say he's, I don't know. Positive. He's strong.
He's strong.
I don't know a character. I've not seen any like that.
Yeah, tell us.
I've just seen him to be a very strong person.
Okay.
Nothing scares him.
I like that.
If somebody will tell mboga inaungua, he sees zinaungua, but he tells you hizo zitalika. But you know, if he's that strong, I'm like, it keeps on encouraging and telling you now, let this thing be under God's care.
Amen. Amen.
You see, if God was able to give Sarah a child at 75 years, when people say that when you are 50, you can't even conceive, 75. So such encouragements kept me going. When people look at me, they ask, how do you manage? And then I tell them, I manage with God.
Amen.
Because grace. Even having these people here, it's God.
That's true.
They may not understand who is behind their lives, but to me, I know.
Amen.
It's not me.
Amen.
Even carrying them up to 31 weeks with my weight and my size, it was,
it's
people were like, and I didn't have any problem.
It was an easy pregnancy.
I was going to work every day.
Wow, well done.
Na sikuwa ikosa job ati I'm feeling sick or something.
Good job.
So having faith in God is key.
That's true.
In our journey as a family, because we have seen what God has done.
Amen.
And we tell them that when God says test and see, He means it.
He means it.
When you test Him to see His goodness, it will follow you. 31 weeks I was at work.
Okay.
So you feel like there's something funny, like, could it be a discharge? Could it be like urine?
Because you never went through the first, this is your first time you're experiencing.
Yes. So I'm like, I'm not feeling any cramps, I'm not feeling anything, but I'm feeling like there's some discharge coming out, but it's not urine.
Yeah, and you're not feeling pain yet?
I'm not feeling pain.
Okay.
I'm just okay.
Okay.
I'm a teacher, so I was from class. I said, let me just go to the washroom and see.
Okay.
Going to the washroom, then I find like it's a lot. So I need to put a liner.
I see.
So after that, again, still it's not working. This. So I call my husband and tell him I'm seeing something funny. So he tells me, take a cab, go to Mpisha. Initially, the doctor had told us that since your pregnancy will not be up to full term, and you have 3, and we are not sure how they come out, you need to book.
CS.
A CS, you need to book an echo. Because, you know, he was preparing us. He told us, I want to give you the best. We went to Mpisha. They were a bit friendly, and that's where our cover was, our medical cover. So they booked for us 3 beds, 3 nursery beds.
Imagine.
And when he called, he told me, just go there, because we had already opened a file for me, and we had already booked the place for the babies. So just go there, I'm coming. And we call our doctor comes. Then he tells me, now this one, they will handle it, you'll have to be under hospital bed rest, because I see your cervix has not opened.
But your water has broken.
It has not broken, like it was leaking.
It was leaking.
And that's not what usually happens. So you feel like there's something. So he checks and says, you need hospital bed rest. We see. Because we want to give these babies a little bit of inside the womb than
outside.
Even 1 week means a lot to them.
That's true.
So that's what he did for us.
Okay. So how long were you there?
I stayed there for 1 month.
1 month?
Sleeping and eating.
So you got to 32 weeks?
I got to 32. No, by the time I was going to hospital, that's when I reached 32. So minus. I went to hospital early.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I stayed sleeping, eating.
1 month.
It was so draining.
Must have been hard, yeah.
Very draining. Because you're like, anything can happen. Every doctor has been alert. There's a mother here who has this, and anything, just know she has triplets and what have you. So I was just sitting there waiting until one evening I felt like it was cramps. I was going for scans like after every 2 hours. It was hectic.
Wow. To monitor how the babies
monitor how the babies, to get the heartbeats and everything. Luckily the scans were coming out well, they are doing well. So at least it gave me some peace of mind.
But now it was time to push.
push.
How was that?
From 8 to around 11.
Okay. 8 p.m.
8 p.m. So 11 is when I was taken to theatre.
Okay.
So me, the only thing I was telling them, remove the babies and ensure you take them
To Niku.
to the NICU.
Okay.
So like, you see, you don't understand yourself. You want these babies out and you want them well.
Yes, of course.
So cut and remove, which they did.
Okay.
So what I was waiting for as a mother is
Yeah.
a cry. Because they tell you if a
baby
baby doesn't
cries.
cry,
Yes.
so me, I'm waiting for how many cries.
3 cries.
So the first one comes, cries.
Good.
The second comes, a faint cry, but cries.
Cries.
The third one comes, cries.
Good.
So I'm happy. My husband is
Amen.
there. He was allowed in the theatre.
Okay.
So he's there. They are being wheeled to the
Niku.
NICU. After birth things like shivering,
I know.
I could not even go see the baby. So I was left for like a full day. From the time I gave birth around, they came out 12:59, 12:58,
Yeah.
12:57.
Okay.
All of them.
All a minute.
1 minute each.
Same
apart.
here.
So I went back to the labor ward. And then I waited, but unluckily I suffered low blood. My blood level went down.
Okay.
So how did I
Your
know
HB
this?
levels?
HB. So I went to.
You lost a lot of blood.
I lost a lot. So I went to see the babies in their NICU.
How was that moment when you first saw your babies?
They were so tiny, Grace.
Yeah.
And I'm like, will they survive? That was my first fear.
Oh.
Pipes, mouth, nose, where, heart, legs, everywhere is pipes. The two pipings.
So there's a mix of joy, but you're fearful.
Scared. I was very scared.
Understandably.
Now we stood there, we prayed.
Okay.
I told God,
Yeah.
you gave us these babies. You can't bring them all the way and then you let them not survive here.
Amen.
I left. As I was leaving, that's when I fainted. And that's when they discovered that my blood level had
Wallow.
wallow, so I could not even sustain my, and it may be because of what I had seen there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was taken back again. I needed blood transfusion.
Wow.
So I take the transfusion.
How long were the 4 of you in hospital? Or
Me,
you and the
after birth, I stayed for 2 weeks. Then I was discharged.
Okay. And the babies?
Now I was coming up for them
Every day.
every day.
How long did they stay?
45 days.
Wow.
Can you imagine, Grace? I'm having a blood transfusion. And then the nurse is calling your line there and telling you the babies need milk.
Breastfeeding? I know.
So you're like, what do I do?
In the midst of a blessing or celebration,
Yeah.
there are challenges. How did you handle that season?
It was still God, because like I can say, my sisters, my brothers are working, so nobody can just leave their work to come and stay there.
So support system
At
was
home,
you and hubby?
Me and hubby. At home, there is no house girl.
Wow. Intentionally, you didn't want a nanny?
As
or
in, you didn't plan that the babies will come at that
True.
early.
So you're not ready?
Yeah, we are not ready for it.
Wow.
And then we didn't just want to come and keep a house girl in the
Yeah.
house. All of you are going to work, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
what is she
understand.
doing?
Yeah.
So we could just come, have a day back to come and wash clothes
Okay.
and like that and go.
Okay.
But now, this one became a challenge to us because my husband has to come every day from home. He's supposed to work at work. He's required there because he didn't want to take the paternity leave also.
Yeah,
And then
at the
when the
wrong
babies
time.
are at home,
He's not there.
he's not there.
Wow.
So he was juggling in between. That one, I still give him a very, I don't know. I really appreciate that because he was the only person who was there for me.
I see.
And if he could have left me at that time, or he could have been busy somewhere else,
Yeah.
I'm sure something else could have happened.
We thank God for a supportive husband.
Very supportive.
We raise our hands and glasses to you.
Very supportive, I
Yeah.
can tell you.
Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So Ruth, now from 2 of you, you and hubby, to 5. How did life change in your home? Tell us about the drastic transition and how you coped.
It was a change which was necessary, but it had to come
Yeah.
with a bang.
With a bang
And you had to adjust to it, whether you like it
or not.
or not.
True.
These babies have come from hospital. We have a hospital bill. Remember, we were discharged from hospital minus paying anything
Yeah.
because they trusted my husband.
Okay.
The company had to give a letter,
Okay.
which they kept as a, how do you call it, as a
An assurance.
An
that
assurance that they
you'll finish, you'll clear your
will
bill.
clear our bill. So you're leaving hospital with that in mind. You have a bill to pay. Number two,
And how much is the bill?
6 million
Wow.
plus mine.
Wow.
You come and ask yourself, these kids you have been given, the doctor told us we buy for them Liptomil. Formula.
Yeah.
3 babies.
I remember that. Yeah.
Diapers.
I know. You have a
And
stock in your home.
I don't know how it happened because unfortunately
Yeah.
they were reacting to the cheap ones. You ask yourself so many questions because milk, diapers,
You have a bill at hospital, diapers.
bill at hospital. You as a mother, you have to eat because I was
Exactly.
expressing to
Yeah.
at least try to boost the
You're
milk.
adjusting.
And
3 babies crying, needing your attention.
I'm telling you, it was hectic. You get a house girl, she comes here.
They get
But when
overwhelmed,
she
they
looks,
go. Yeah.
Clothes, if you change diapers, those are already 6. Times 3, it's 9.
You're tired.
9 vests and what have you.
Yeah.
She's washing every day. So they could come and go. So what we decided, we got our sister-in-law,
Okay, good.
whom I appreciate so much. She did a lot to me during that time.
Okay.
She was not working at that time, so we requested her to come
To come help.
and stay. I was, you know, maternity leave ends after 3.
Yeah, 3 months. But you couldn't manage going back.
I
3
went
months.
back, Grace. I went back to work.
Goodness.
I went back to work because you need money.
Of course.
Please.
Yeah,
Keep
of course.
here. So when she came, I told her, the only thing I want you to do is to take care of these people. Just
Leave
sit,
everything else.
Leave everything else. I'll come and sort it. I'll find somebody to come and do it.
Yeah.
Sit and just look
After them.
after these babies.
I mean, when kids come, they change everything. And now you're considering, you have a hospital bill to think of, you have all these expenses. How did this season affect your marriage, if it did?
The closeness, I think it became stronger.
Good.
Because he could come, I'm washing clothes, he's taking them to the hanger. He's going to the clothesline to hang them.
Teamwork.
This one, the in-law is still with the babies.
Good.
So these clothes have to be washed or something, cooking, mixing the milk. You take 2, it made us stronger
Good.
and to think further.
Okay.
It opened our minds, let me say so.
It's a lot
So
of
we
work.
survived.
Good.
We survived until December, and then we said now, where we stay so small, they started crawling. In fact, their developmental milestones were okay.
Okay, good.
Nobody was showing anything which required attention.
Good job.
They could eat well,
Okay.
they could sleep well, they could, so they were just okay.
They were growing well.
Yeah, growing well. They started crawling. So we asked, he said, this place is so small, it's very tiny, the house. So if we stay with these kids here, then
There'll be no space.
there'll be no space.
Yeah.
These kids came with blessings.
Yeah.
Because we moved and it was not like something we had planned. We went and then he said, I think from my workplace they can give me a mortgage and we can go and get a house.
Babies come with blessings.
We got a house in Kitengela. Ndani, sio Kitengela town.
Ndani
We got
kabisa.
that. But
And
it
then-
was okay,
Okay.
because at least when you look at the space, like when your kids are a place like this,
Yeah.
they're okay than staying in a rental house
That's
if
true.
you are able to afford.
That's true.
So our challenge came, we were supposed to go back to Nairobi every day. Remember, it's me.
Because of work. Yeah.
We got a house girl who was motherly, who stayed with them. As we were moving, we moved to a new house. This sister-in-law had to go back to her errands. She couldn't come with us.
So you had to handle everything.
But we got a new house girl who was motherly. She also tried to take care of them.
Okay.
And during the process, I thought I was okay, but you remember, you're working in Nairobi. I was working here at Forest Road. So every day you had to come.
Did you have to make a tough call?
I'm telling you, I had to decide now, this one, working in Nairobi or looking for a job, and
Work?
these 3 kids.
Yeah. Or my children. Yeah.
I have not told you I was already pregnant as I was going back to maternity. You're pregnant again.
So you got pregnant when they were how old?
5 months. They have
Those
not
are
started.
quadruplets.
They have not even started winning.
They are the same age.
So you discover you're
And
pregnant
this
again.
was just a surprise pregnancy.
I didn't
You
even
didn't
know.
see a
I
doctor
didn't
for
even-
assistance.
No.
Look at
no,
God.
no.
How did you handle the news when you discovered you're pregnant?
It was like, what do we do? That was the first thing.
Yeah.
But the doctor says, there's nothing you can do.
Okay.
Because I also had to go back to the doctor to confirm. Because I don't know, I have that phobia of, you can't
Doing
just
a
tell me
test.
and
Okay.
it's okay. I have to.
See a doctor.
So he did the scan and said it's there.
So how did you manage it all? You're pregnant, you're breastfeeding, you're catering to babies.
and you are staying in Kitengela, you're working in Nairobi.
Yeah.
I worked for 1 month.
Okay. Then you left, you resigned?
Kabisa.
Yeah.
Because it was like I was also reading, and then you see there are some people who go through postpartum depression. And I said I didn't want to reach there.
Of course.
These kids need me.
True.
So you have to make a choice. So we sat and agreed. Are you able to sustain us?
Okay.
As me and the
4
house
children.
girl. And so it was like, it's okay. That's the best choice we can make for our babies.
That's true.
And I decided to be a stay-at-home mom.
And now it's been how many years? 4 years?
Up to now.
4 years.
I didn't go back to work.
So it's been 4 years being
4
a
years. Sitting, and they're used to me, like, I'm like, even me, I'm so attached to them.
I know, I
that
understand.
when I think of bringing a house girl,
it's difficult.
Yeah. Like I've refused.
I
My body has
understand.
just refused. People ask, why can't you take a house girl to come and help? I've said no. I know what these babies need.
True.
And you know, as they grow, they also have those behaviors, which it's only you as a mother or a parent can shape. And the house girl will just get fed up with it.
That's true.
So they need patience, they need
Your
understanding.
presence is everything.
Everything.
That's
so I said no. It's okay. Me, I'll handle it.
Okay.
So they ask, you'll faint. You need your time. I tell them that time will come.
That's
and
true.
it will come in a good way. Because
true.
for now, it's me. They have robbed me my time.
Okay.
But when I reach there, I'll appreciate
that is true.
that giving them
I
my
can tell
time.
God has given you the grace.
Very
When you
much.
think and you look back, when you were waiting for this child,
Mhm.
and now you look at 4 of them, how do you feel? How do you and your
I
husband feel
so
today?
encouraged.
Amen.
I just look at them and then say that had it not been for God, like you ask, where could I be?
Okay.
Where could you be, you babies? Had it not been for God. And that's why we ensure that we take them to church, you teach them to sing, you recite memory verses. You need to let them understand there is a supernatural being
Amen.
who is behind your lives.
The existence.
Because us, as your parents, we have tasted, we have seen him. With our eyes, with our hands, we have eaten him, we have felt how sweet he is.
So all the naysayers who would whisper for years, what do they say now?
You know, the kids come and then they say, like when I got the second one, the first question was, are you mad? Triplets and then you're getting another one. You see, and then you're like,
Whether you don't have, whether you have, there'll always be a problem.
Yes.
I tell you.
So madness comes and then, why, you mean you see
I
now,
know.
5 months, some people will even have, they'll not be sensitive. And then ask, you mean you've already started having,
People will always have something to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you ask, you just look at them and brush them off.
That's
And that
true.
is what has helped us.
Good.
Brushing off people.
Yeah.
Because
Live
the
your
moment you give them a listening ear,
Yes,
they'll
it
have
affects
something
you.
else to say.
That's true.
So you decide as a
and we
woman,
all have a different path God has for
kabisa,
us.
kabisa. And you also have your own objectives, your own visions.
course.
The focus has to change from people to you and your family.
Amen.
And that's what you have decided as a family.
Well,
We are not going to give attention to everybody who's saying, why is she overworking? Why is she having kids? She's not looking for a house girl.
Yeah.
I know what I need and I'm looking for that. I had a case whereby my kids got rotavirus, the 3 of them, and I was pregnant. So the kids are
And they were not understanding.
diarrheaing. You go to work, you tell them my kids are diarrheaing and I'm taking them to hospital. I think they did not take it positively, and then they had to, like, even you have given them a letter,
Imagine.
you have given them the medicine, they have even called the hospital to confirm
But they're not
whether the kids,
understanding.
so they deduct your salary
Oh no.
for those
For the days
5
you
days.
miss. Oh, that's terrible.
And these kids have just come.
Oh no.
So from that day I said, an employer, of course maybe I'm planning to be one, but there's some things which put you off. And then you feel like, I can't keep on working.
So what did you end up doing?
Staying at home, and I decided to start my own things.
Okay, tell us about
So one thing which came was becoming a businesswoman,
Okay.
but I had a passion of teaching.
Okay.
And then I said, can we start a preschool?
Oh.
I tell you, I have a very
Your
supportive
children
husband.
are in the right hands.
A very supportive husband. He
They
tells
get
me, okay,
mom and teacher all together.
yes, and then you see, even the small one, I can tell you, he knows how to count
Well
up
done.
to 10, and he's still breastfeeding.
Well
You
done.
see that baby? I'm looking at
doing
you.
badly. Well done.
He's just coming up very fast.
Okay.
And that's why you say that they came with a lot of blessings.
They do.
So I tell my husband, let's start a preschool.
Okay.
And he's very supportive, like I told you. He says, that's what you want. I tell him, yeah.
Let's do it.
What can we do? So I tell him, maybe we can get land, we can do something. And we thought about it. We got a place
Okay.
and we renovated,
Good job.
And then we opened in October last year.
Good. And you can still manage to be at home with your children.
My
and have the
children
school
are
running.
the first pioneers in that school.
Fantastic. They're the first beneficiaries.
They have to be the beneficiaries because I have to convince the other people that even my kids are here.
Good.
So this place is to be trusted. I can't just put my kids where, and I'm
You don't
here to take
trust.
care of them. So
Good.
we opened the school in October last year,
Good job.
and it's a daycare, PP1, PP2, and play group.
How has the feedback been?
Very positive.
Well done.
So we have received other people from outside. We are waiting for the next academic year to start.
Isn't God faithful?
It's very faithful.
You're still living out your passion and raising your children.
Yes.
That's a blessing.
Yes.
That's a blessing.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
I'd like you to speak to a woman at home who may have been in a situation where she's waited long. Maybe she can't afford the treatment to be able to conceive and is worried.
So to that mom who is waiting at home, the only thing I can tell you is just be patient. Incorporate God in the plan. And if there is a way you can be able to see a doctor, and I'm saying a good doctor, the society and its demands will never be less. Instead, they'll be increasing every day. So the moment you listen to what the society's expectations are, then you stop living your life. God's time is the best.
Amen.
And at its right time, everything will happen. Be blessed.
Amen. And that's how you wrap the show. She said, God's timing is the best. So let's all wait on Him. You may be someone at home who's watching, who's waiting on God for something. Keep waiting. Stay patient. His timing is the best. Thank you for making time for us. Take care of yourselves. Have a good night. God bless you. And of course, thank you to Stakeout on Manyani Road here in Lavington for hosting us. Until next week, goodbye.